Hi, it's Jordan Teen 1, and today I'll be showing you how to make the 6-pin open oval bracelet. I actually came up with the original open oval design back in January using the full-size loom. I will show you what it looks like. It has one single band in the center, and then it has these other bands that wrap around it, and then the border bands that hold those other bands in place. And for this one that I did on the original tutorial, I used different shades of each of the colors to make a fading effect. And the problem with doing it on one loom using the whole surface of the loom is that you were only able to fit 4 ovals on, and that was using 2 looms connected end to end. So now I've devised a way that you can make it just using 6 pins on the loom. So you can either make it on the monster tail using these 6 pins, or you can make it on the full-size loom just using 6 pins in the shape of a rectangle. So I'm going to be showing it on the full-size loom today. You want to have your loom set up in a rectangular shape so all the pins are in line with one another, and you want to have the arrows facing towards you so the opened ends are facing you. And you can see that I've moved the blue connector piece apart from one another, so I am able to have the bracelet grow down through this open area in between the rows of pins. Today I'll be using the Rainbow Loom jelly bands in the different rainbow colors. I'm going to do the rainbow colors for the outside bands, and then I'm going to do white for all of the center bands. You will probably need to make about 5 ovals to go around your wrist. And so for each of the ovals, for the center bands, you're going to need 13 bands per oval. And then for the outside bands, for each of the ovals, you're going to need 2 of every color. And since I'll be making 5 ovals, I have 10 of each of the colors. Except for the red, I need a couple of extra to start the bracelet. So I actually have 13 red. And then also for the purple, I need to end the bracelet. So I actually have 12 of those. I'm going to be starting in the center row. I'm going to go to the 3rd pin up from the bottom, and my first band is going to go diagonally up and to the right. It's going to be red. I'm just using single bands, and then from here it's going to go diagonally up and to the left, back into the center row. Again, I'm doing red. And now I want to place a cap band on this pin to the right. So I want to double the rubber band that's going to be the cap band. So I'm just placing it on my hook, twisting, and putting it back on. So you see the 2 bands there. And then I'm just going to put it right on this pin. And now I want these bottom rubber bands to come up through the cap band. So what I'm going to do is reach my hook down through, push back on these top 2 bands, grabbing this next band in line, going to hold this cap band in place, and I just want this to move to the pin above. And now I'm going to go back down through, and I'm grabbing this bottom rubber band, that's going to come up through, and it's moving to this pin below. And then finally I want to remove this. So now that cap band is just sitting right in the middle there. Now I'm going to start with my inside color, so it's going to be white. It's going to go from this first pin on the right up to the middle. And I'm going to take another white band that's going from the middle up to the next pin above. And now I need to place a band that's going from this center pin on the left across to the right. That's going to be the band that's going to be in the center of the oval. And now I want these bottom white bands to come up through and go back on themselves. So I'm going to reach down through with my hook, push back on this top band, grabbing that next band, and it's going to come up through and move to the top. And now I want to go back down through, push back on this top band again. I'm grabbing this bottom band, and this one is going to come to the pin below. And now I'm just going to release this from the pin on the left here, so it's just hanging. And now I want to put the border bands on, so I'm going to do red for this first one. It's going from the left to the right on the top and bottom. That's the pattern that we're going to follow. So I'm taking a second red band and putting it on the top. And now what I want to happen is I want these white bands to come off of these pins on the right and just go into the center here. So I'm just working with the two white, just pulling them over and into the middle. And then once I've done that, I want all four of the bottom bands on these four corner pins to come off. So I'll just do the right side first, and then I'll do the left. And I'm going to push this down. Now I'm ready to do the next set of white bands, so it's going to follow that same pattern. It's going from the first pin up to the middle, and then from the middle up above again. And now I have to put this center band here that's just hanging. I'm going to take the right side of it and slide it back over the pin. And now once again I need these bottom bands to come up through and go back on themselves. So I'm just going to take them off in order. And now once again I'm just going to release this rubber band from the center and let it hang in the middle. I'm going to push all of this down. Now I'm going to do my next border color, which is orange. Always going to be doing it at the top and the bottom. And now the white bands need to come off first. Do that for both sides here. And now the bottom rubber band from all of the corner pins. And then I'm going to push this down. And so now I'm adding the white bands again. I'm going to do this 6 times to go through all of the rainbow colors that I have. And now this white band here needs to come back on. And now these white bands need to go back on themselves. And now I want to remove this from the center. And now the border color is yellow. And now I'll remove the white. And now the bottom rubber band from the corners. Going to push this down. Now the white. Put this center band back on. Now they're going to come up through and go back. And now I have green. Now I'm doing the white bands first. I'm going to remove this center and now the ends. And push this down. And now doing these center bands again. Put this middle back on. And now I'm on to the blue. We're almost done here. I'm doing the white. And then also releasing this. So hopefully you have the hang of it by now. It's really not that difficult to do. Push this down. And now finally, this is my last set of white bands within this circle. Pull this back on. And here's my last color. And now I'm doing the white. And also getting it off this middle pin. And finally the blue. And I can push this all down. So it's just going to grow down through this open area here. You can see it's starting to come out the bottom here. So that's it for the first oval. So now I'm ready to start the next one. So it's time to add the white bands again, but this time they're going to be part of the next oval. So I'm taking another white band and I'm putting it in the middle, in the center here from the left to the right. And now I'm going to bring these white bands up through. And now I've decided I'm going to go in the reverse order for the rainbow colors. So I'm going to start out with purple again. I'm just going to release this white band from the pin on the left. And now I'm going to put my purple border bands on. And now the white bands will come off. And I'll release it from this middle pin on the right. And now all of the corner bands. And push this down. And so now I'm doing the white bands. And the middle will come back on. And now I'm going to do the blue for the outside. And I'll take off the white. And also release it from the middle. And now I'm doing that bottom layer of the border bands. And push down. So I am just going to continue on in the same pattern. I'm just going to be working in that reverse order of the rainbow. And I'm always going to be putting on the white bands first. And then this middle one comes up over. The bands go back on themselves. Then I'll do my next border color. This one can come off, and then all of the four corners come off. And once I go through all of the rainbow colors, I will start a new oval. And once I have 5 ovals done, I will show you how to remove it from the loom. If you feel like you still need more help with making the ovals, you can always go back in the tutorial and follow along again with the pattern. When you have your bracelet to the length that you'd like it and you're ready to remove it from the loom, you want to take one band of whatever color you're working with. So I have purple, and I'm going to place it around all 6 of these pins in a rectangle shape. I'm going to push this down, and now I want the bottom rubber band to come over the top. There should be just one band on all of the corner pins. Again, I'm just going to make sure that these are to the bottom of the pin, and I'm going to take the bands that are on the right and move them straight across to the left. So it's a little bit tricky because it is tightly stretched, so just make sure you keep hold of it on your hook. So I'm just picking it up and moving it straight across. I'm going to use my other finger to help stretch it out here. Hold these other bands in place. And now I can just move this over the center pin. And now the same thing on this side. Taking it off. I'm going to hold this down and stretch it over. So now you see there's 2 rubber bands on each of these pins. Taking my last purple band, and I'm going to stretch it from the first pin, skip the second one, and go all the way to the top. And now I want the bands that are on the bottom here, both of them. I'm going to grab them both at once. I'm just going to pull them over the top so they slide onto this band. And then the same thing over here. Get these bottom 2 to come off and slide in. And now I just have 1 rubber band left on each of these pins, so I'm just going to get this on my hook, come around and get the other one on my hook, so now they're both on there. Hold this with my thumb so it doesn't come off. And now I can pull this off of the loom. I have these 2 bands on here. I'm going to take a clip. I have an S clip here. And I'm just going to hook it through. And then on the other side, you should have a nice circle on the end. I'm going to hook it through there. And then here is your bracelet. So you can see this open oval pattern. And then I'll show you the other one that I had made in the previous video from January. So you can see it is the exact same look, only this time we did it on 6 pins. So you're able to do 5 ovals to fit your entire wrist. I hope that everyone enjoyed following this new method of making the open oval design. You can always leave me comments on YouTube and Facebook, post pictures of your creations to my Facebook page, and please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on all of my latest tutorials. You can also find me on Pinterest and Instagram, so please feel free to subscribe to those as well. Thanks for watching!